What's going on, everybody? So, as many of you guys know, I absolutely love to cook. So, today we're going to make a Mississippi pot roast. Very simple to do. It's going to cook in the crock pot. You can do it on the stovetop, but it tastes better, in my opinion, if you do it in the crock pot. So, what you need is some chuck roast. I've got a really good deal of $30 for a little over 3 pounds chuck roast. 1 packet of au jus mix. 1 packet of ranch mix. You can use the Hidden Valley, but literally the Hidden Valley and the Kroger brand is practically the same thing. They just changed the logo. How do I know that? Because I worked at an ice cream place and we used to do the same thing. Same ice cream, different labels. Need some pepperoncinis or banana peppers. You can buy the whole banana peppers, which are pepperoncinis. You need some garlic. You can use fresh, or I just do the minced because I use so much garlic in my house. Red potatoes. I get the very small baby ones. That way I don't have to slice them up. It's less work. A little bit of vegetable oil. You can use olive oil or avocado oil. You'll use that to sear your chuck roast before you put it in the crock pot. 1 white or yellow onion. I choose the yellow because it's sweeter. Thing of carrots. 1 beer for me to drink while I'm waiting while this cooks. And a little dab of hot sauce. So stay tuned and hope you guys like this recipe. Okay, so get your chuck roast. I use just a very clean cutting board. Put everything on it. Wash my hands since I touched raw meat. Okay, and then what I do is I actually take a little bit of steak seasoning and I sprinkle pretty liberally on it. Gives your meat some extra flavor. And then I put some on my cutting board. That way I'm getting all sides. Flip it over, get the other side of your meat. Press the seasonings in. Like I said, there's a couple different ways you can make this. It's all the same basic ingredients. It's just a matter of how you season it. Now, sometimes I will put mushrooms in mine. However, my girlfriend does not like mushrooms. So I will not be putting mushrooms in it. So once your meat is seasoned, your next step is to get your pan, put a little oil in there, and you're going to sear this. You just want it to get brown. You're not cooking it, you're just searing it so the flavors will lock in once you do put it in the crock pot. Okay, so turn your pan on. I do mine medium-high heat. That way it sears pretty quickly. Take a little bit of vegetable oil. Need just a little bit. You want that to get all over the pan. I like a good little char on mine to sear it. And we wait for that oil to come up and get hot. And once that gets hot, then we will put our meat in the skillet and sear it before we put it in the crock pot. So once your oil is hot enough, and you'll know because it will pretty much move freely, like as if there was water in there, then you're going to want to stick your chuck roast in the skillet. Oh yeah, and that's the sound you want to hear. Like I said, you're just going to sear all sides of it real quick. Mainly just the top and bottom. However, I personally like to sear the sides as well. Just real quick. So, searing it, it just holds the juices in a little better. But this is the sound you want to hear. You can already smell all of the aroma from the flavoring. Oh, it smells so good. So You're only going to sear it for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. And then you'll flip it over. And depending on how high you have your temperature, you don't even need the full 2 minutes. Okay, so once it's been about 2 minutes, we got a sear marks on it. You'll flip it, do the other side, and then what we'll do is we will hold it from the side and sear it this way. Once it's seared on all sides, we'll go ahead and put it in the crock pot, slice our veggies up, put all of our ingredients in the crock pot, let the crock pot do its thing. I cook mine for about 8 hours. It'll be very, very tender, ready to separate with a fork. Okay, so once it's seared on both top and bottom, I'll take my fork and I will hold it on the other side. Not for the full 2 minutes. I do mine for about 30 seconds. Obviously, it's raw. That's okay. You're just searing this meat. That's the biggest thing to remember. You're not trying to cook it whatsoever. So once it's seared on all 4 sides, I cut my heat off, and then I slice any veggies I have. So if you had bigger potatoes, obviously this is the time you want to either quarter them or slice them in half, however you want. If you have whole carrots, you want to slice those up. I just buy the baby carrots, that way I don't have to slice up. So if you have a tomato, or if you have an onion, I like to kind of quarter mine up. You're not cutting too small because then, well, it wouldn't be a true pot roast. You want chunks. So you want to peel your onion. I said this is a Vidalia onion. I just choose Vidalia because it is sweet. So cut the end off. Alright, so got our onion. And all you're going to do is cut. And then want them about like that. And then once they start cooking, obviously they're going to soften up a lot. So now's the time we're going to add all of our ingredients into our crock pot. Okay, so one thing I did forget to mention is a can of beef broth. You can put water in there, about a cup of water, but I choose beef broth just because I'm obviously putting beef in here. So take your au jus mix, dump the whole thing in. Take your ranch dip packet. Dump that all the way in. For your garlic, you can take however much garlic you want. I love garlic, so I'm putting some extra in there. Take your spoon, stir everything around. You know, it seems like it's going to be a weird mixture with, you know, pepperoncinis, ranch packet, au jus. But I promise you guys, this stuff is absolutely delicious. Take your peppers. Pour some juice. I do about half a jar of juice in there. And then I add my peppers to the mix. If you're not a big spice person or you don't really love pepperoncinis, go easy on the peppers, but this is what gives it that true Mississippi pot roast taste. Take your meat that's seared, go ahead and pop that in. I stack mine on top. It doesn't matter. It's going to all cook the same because we're putting the lid on there, obviously. Obviously, if you were cooking traditionally in a pot, you don't want to stack your meat. But because it's going to steam, if you will, then it's fine. Take your potatoes, wash them. A trick too, because these are in mesh bag, you can wash them, just create a hole and wash them while they're in the bag. Makes it so much easier. Now I'm going to pour the whole thing of potatoes in. You don't have to. It's all a preference. Obviously I probably need a bigger crock pot, by the way. Take your carrots and your onions. Now I only put about half of the onion in here until everything starts cooking down and whatnot. I turn my crock pot up to high. Boom, there you go. Let that go for about 8 hours and then enjoy. But we will come and check it in a couple hours and show you guys what it looks like. So it's been about 2 hours and 45 minutes. And yeah, this stuff looks delicious. Smells amazing. A couple more hours and it'll be done. I'll show you guys the final results. Stay tuned. Okay, so it's been 7 hours. It is completely done. And that's what it should look like. Put it over some mashed potatoes or some rice. Delicious. Enjoy.